Thanks for joining me today. Anyway, today we're going to cover just a quick review and we're going to continue on with our lessons. Today we're going to be focusing on colors. The reason I emphasize colors is because there's so many different options out there. Now, if you haven't already covered my earlier lessons, please go back and review those. I would like you to keep notes. It's very important. And part of the reason I want you to take notes is because I'm going to cover a quick step here on an earlier lesson that I covered. You see the run box in front of you. In some cases, you want to take a picture in order to keep your notes as well. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So in order to do that, you hit your Shift and your print screen keys on the keyboard. If you don't know where those are, please go back and review my keyboard lesson. Anyway, you press the Shift and the print screen, then you go and you pull up a paint window, and you proceed to click on your selection button, and then you proceed to hit your Control V key. When you hit your Control C key, it copies it. When you hit your Control V key, it pastes it from memory back onto your screen. If you hit your Shift and your print screen button at the same time, it will take whatever's on your desktop, whatever you're looking at on your screen, we'll copy it to your memory, and then you can paste it into a paint window, edit it like I've done here. You can see here that it's kind of a fun little thing to do, but it's also very useful for taking notes. Anyway, just so you don't forget, and please go back and review the other lessons. Now, we're going to cover today the colors in your Paint.net program. Now, the reason I'm bringing up colors is because there's so many variations. You can sit there and I could literally spend days on going through the myriad of choices, the myriad of options. Today we're just going to cover your basic selection of choices. Now, if I go down here, I can click on my effects drop down, or excuse me, my adjustments drop down. I can go down here to curves, and there's also a shortcut in case you didn't notice that. Let's go back here, go to adjustments. If you go to curves, Control Shift and M. So if I hit Control and Shift and M, I get my keys up. I do my drop down here, it starts on luminosity, but if you go over here to RGB, you can select or deselect your choices. Now, why would I want to do this? The curves are going to give me an option here. Now, let's suppose you have these choices up here. You notice the black dots. They look an awful lot like black. The truth of the matter is they're not. Your eye can't tell the difference. Because of that simple fact, you really do need to reference numbers when you're doing work such as sketching, or if you're doing work and you really want to get a realistic look out of something that you're working on. The closer the colors you use, the better effect you're going to have to make it look realistic. But to be completely honest, the harder it's going to be for you to see the difference in the colors. Hence the reason why you see this little box right here where my arrow's pointing. That is your number key or hex key for each color that you have in the Paint.net program and other painting programs. Anyway, let's go here. If I click on the red, now watch the colors. What's going to happen to the colors up on the screen here? And as I add more red, you see everything getting brighter, but you also see as you get up here to the top, as you add more red, you're changing the colors. Now what this is indicating is that those two top dots on the right have a red base. Okay, so let's reset that. Let's go to green, and then I can start here, and you'll notice that the bottom dot, in this case, over here, has some green in it, or is a fundamentally green color. This is something that you can't tell by just looking at it because the dots all look black. But if you use this number right here, now let me go ahead and reset this just to show you. What you can do is your color picker. If you click on that, it will give you a hex number. Now you'll see here it's in the green range, and this is the number. Now, in taking your notes and keeping track of your notes for your colors, you really do want to right click and copy this and then move it over here to where you keep your notes. Now you'll notice here I've already put in a color. Let's add this one here. Add a comma, add a V, and you now have the color for that dark black or green. Okay, please be aware of this when you're using your notes. It's a good idea to put in your name, what tools you're using, what brushes you're using, what fonts you're using, in particular your colors and your transparency level. Now we haven't covered the transparency level just yet, but you look down here, your transparency can be from 255 down to 0. Makes a difference. Okay, please write this down. Please make note of this because you will not remember it. If you look at your color box and this is all you see, and you pop this open, you're going to be very confused by all these colors, but more importantly, you're going to be confused once you start getting in here and you're dealing with different subject matter on your canvas. It will boggle your mind how much difference just a few numbers can make. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. I'll leave that like so. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, for one, taking notes. Two is the colors are very important, and the different objects and the color variants and the tool drop downs that you use are very important. Hence the reason why I emphasize taking notes. Now, the other thing is, I want to emphasize to you, if you look at these are actually not a gradient. These are actually, if you look at the greens here, they are different swatches of colors that I created in the Paint program, the MS Paint program. Okay, I created these just to show you. If you go down to the bottom of the screen, when you're in your MS Paint program, let me pull that up here. If I go down here into the MS Paint program, you can see down here at the bottom, you see the numbers. That's great. And you can detect the colors. Unfortunately, if you look down here on the MS Paint program, there's no numbers associated with the colors. Even if you go into your custom color palette, there's no numbers associated with it. So the better you keep track of the colors and the shading numbers. Now let me go in here and explain to you why. If you go into your custom colors in your MS Paint program and in other programs, the colors will show up a lot like this. These numbers will all matter as well. If you have to use this older style of color palette, then you will want to write all these numbers down for the particular colors you're using. Believe it or not, a few shades off will make a large difference. Please be aware of this when you're dealing with the colors. Anyway, going back to my beginning of my lesson, use the Shift and Print screen to copy an image from your desktop. Goes to your memory. Then you open your MS Paint window, click on the selection tool, press the Control V, and that will paste whatever's on your screen. From there you can edit it, do what you want with it. Anyway, getting back to these color swatches. If you go in here in these color swatches, some of these colors are so close you can't see the difference. So it's very imperative that you not only know the different colors and how to use them, but that you understand that each color has a specific number referencing it. Much more so here in the Paint.net program, and it's very advantageous for you when you're changing colors to take notes. You'll notice as I move this bar across here, these numbers here are changing for the different hues and saturations, but this other overall hex number changes too. When in doubt, you can always punch in this hex number. Anyway, we'll pick this up in just a minute on the second half of the video. Thanks for watching.